Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel at our garage, VHG Technic. And in this video, I'm back from holiday. We were in Croatia. I must say, I did have a very good time. The weather was absolutely amazing, and I'm back in the reality in the UK, where before I left, I've done some orders again, which means a bit of a money left the account again. However, it's something necessary to have when I want to build it to a spec which I'm planning to build. And actually right now we managed to achieve from 1000 BHP 0. So it is going very slowly. I dropped last week the crankshaft for balancing with everything what you've seen, and meanwhile we have some small bits and bobs which has arrived. We can start with something what we bought last time when we took the engine out, which are brake pads for the rear discs. And I must say I don't see anything special about them. There's no manufacturer details on them. There's absolutely nothing. I do have a manual. I will read the manual probably on the toilet when I'm gonna have a bit of a time how to install them. And the only special thing about these parts is basically I paid £420, which is quite a lot. I didn't want to risk it to go with some kind of aftermarket stuff because I don't want to damage for, let's say, 200 quid of saving a disc which is 5 grand. So I rather stick with the genuine stuff, and I make sure that the discs what I bought with calipers and everything will stay in a good shape for long as possible. Of course, I did check the discs. We still have enough weight. The minimum thickness is quite far away from the minimum thickness, and I don't see any damage on them, so I did check them, and so far I'm happy with them. I have to fit them on the car. I'll try to brake and see how it goes. Of course, when it comes to the question, steelies or ceramics, I do want to go on the Nürburgring with the RS6 afterwards. When we're actually going to put the engine back together, it will start. It will not cease during the run-in period. It will not cease to the way on the dyno. It will not cease on the dyno and on the way to the Nürburgring. So that's the plan. But the difference between steelies and carbon ceramics, well, if you really want to drive the car daily and you're just going to be stuck in traffic, you don't really need carbon ceramic brakes. However, I do have a plan to go on the trip to Europe. I do want to use the car as a 1000 BHP car, so I do want to accelerate and brake several times, which I think the steelies will probably not take it very well because the heat absorbing and everything will be quite high, and it's a short-term thing, especially when we doubling the BHP. So I think the carbon ceramics will be a good idea to put on there. Of course, I will keep the set which is on the car now as a spare set just in case. It's quite easy to swap. It should be a straight swap really. And see how it goes. I'm really hoping they won't be vibrating, but only time will tell. Also, when we're talking about the brakes, one of the shields was missing. So I bought the shield, which is probably like, I don't know, £30. Not much, but we do need it. Also, I think something which is over the age, cracking here and there, and it's quite old rubber, I decided to put new flexi hoses for the brake calipers. So they will be replaced. I think they were like 70, 80 pounds per hose. And also, we need upgrades for the high pressure fuel pump. So I ordered these from Bartek from Europe. So we have these two pistons here, which are for the high pressure fuel pump. It should upgrade the flow and the pressure, which means the injectors don't have to do such a long cycle when they're gonna run on full power. These were 688 euros, if I remember correctly. They also sent us a very lovely sticker, which was probably half of the money because, yeah, you're basically paying for a bit of a machine and quite loads of money. But we do need it, so it is what it is. Also in this video, like I mentioned in the video before, I do want to be working on the oil pump. So this video will be about the repair kit from RE Performance. So thank you for supplying. And I have the oil pump right here. So yeah, this is the oil pump, guys. And I must say that it is a very interesting piece of engineering. It is very similar pump to the R8 natural aspirated in the Lambos and stuff. The only difference is the back part on the RS6, which has basically the two pipes sticking out. That's the suction part for the oil which is coming from the turbos back into the pump and back into the tank. So quite important bit really. I am looking at the pump, obviously it's a bit dirty, but I don't see any huge leaks or anything like that, so I think it should be safe. This is the pump what I actually bought with the engine, what we took out. And I did see the engine running, so I'm not really concerned that the pump is faulty, but I just want to make sure everything was inside, has no signs of damage or anything is stuck in there. I know the pump was making pressure. We have the repair kit here. Just want to make it nice and clean, strip it fully down, reseal it. Of course, we have a new water pump here, Z propeller, which was quite loads of money for what it is. And we also have a new thermostat here, which, if I remember correctly, I will not put it on yet because I think the thermostat is in the way of something, so there's no point fitting it before the oil pump is actually mounted onto the engine block, and then I have to see what's in the way. But I should have everything what I need for it, really. So into this video, I will be stripping it down. We'll clean up everything and then we'll be putting it back together. And I'm really hoping after I put it back together, it will still turn, because we have the mine shaft here, which is quite hard to actually turn. I will get the bit for it and try to turn it, but like I said, it was running, so it should be fine. But I just want to compare how much force do I need to make now before I strip it, and once I put it back together, so it's not like turning hard or it's seizing up or something. Reason why I didn't bought the new one is that the new oil pump is £3,800, if I remember correctly, which is quite a lot of money. That's without the thermostat, of course, and some other accessories. But yeah, so I think let's get to it. Okay guys, so as you probably know, there's no manual like how the bolt should be tied, how many Newton meters and stuff. So I will check it with the Newton meter ratchet what we have. Of course, I can check it online as well with the bolt length, what's the diameter and thread, and from internet you can find out like how many Newton meters it can be tied to. But unfortunately, there's no manual to it. So yeah, I will just double check how much it is, but I don't think it will be much. It will be probably around 12 Newton meters or something like that. So this one here should do the job. So we have hexagon 5. So it starts turning about 15 Newton meters. But I will still double check just to make sure, so we don't damage anything. But 15 is so far the reference on it. So guys, we have these plates in between sections. So I will make sure I'll put them exactly how they're going back, because I think it's quite important to have it as it was before. And I'll try to put it back together so it will be still working. Okay guys, so far we stripped down like the part for the turbos. It's a classic oil pump really, which is sucking, in this case, the oil from the turbos. I don't see any damage on there so far. It looks good, all the gears looks healthy and stuff. I took out the part with the shaft. The shaft is, I think, for the water pump, which is going through the whole pump, connected it on the other side, like the typical Volkswagen design really. And I think I should go from the other side now, because I don't see anything what's holding the shaft with the sprocket over there. So we're gonna start stripping it from the other side now. It's not really good idea to use the impact ratchet all the time, because these hexa bolts don't really like the impact of it sometimes, and I don't want to damage the bolts. So these are basically H4s, they're smaller, for the water pump. Okay. So I don't see any damage on the propeller or the water pump. There's no movement on it. It is turning. I don't see no damage on the propellers themselves, and it's basically just insert like on the O-ring between the housings. So this housing has only one purpose actually, for the thermostat and coolant to go in, and this bit here is for the oil. But we're just gonna push it out, and we have to try to strip down the rest of the oil pump. Okay guys, so I understand why we have the shaft seal in the repair kit from Airy Performance. So that should be at least one of them for the water pump, but we ain't gonna use it anyways because we have a whole new water pump. And there's an O-ring on the end which is just keep the oil from the one part of the pump to the other. And that's about it really. Okay guys, so we still have a hexagon H4 bolts, and they are basically so tight for a small socket that if I use the impact ratchet, I'll definitely damage them. So if you're planning to do it at home, definitely loosen them first with the ratchet and then just use the electric tool to save your time a bit. Not much, but it's definitely better than damaging them because I can't buy them separately. Toto si myslím, že je nejaký release valve, taký regulátor tlaku. Takže ono, keď to ide, tak sa tá pružinka vlastne zatlačí a to pustí ten tlak oleja ďalej. Niečo také. To nemám náhradu. Okay guys, I'm not sure if you can see it, but we do have this pin lock in there to hold this sprocket in place. You can see it has the cut in there. I have to remove it, otherwise I don't think I'll be able to take out the shaft. So yeah, bit of a struggle. Oh yeah. Okay guys, so far I managed to take off like half of the pump apart. Unfortunately, one of the bolts has snapped. I did try to heat it, move it left to right, but obviously didn't go well. So we have to drill that one out. Otherwise, so far I don't see anything wrong with it. All the other bolts were removed with no other issue really. And so far it's just like 2 long shafts with all the gears on them. And it's coming apart quite nicely. Also the gears have like dots on them, but they're not lining up. So I don't think when you're gonna put it back together, it really matters like how they're gonna go back in. So that's my theory so far. Okay guys, so I stripped it fully down, the whole shafts with all the gears and everything. I don't see anything wrong with it. Obviously the car was running fine, and yeah, we'll clean up everything. I was checking the video from RE Performance, how they doing the oil pump. They were tightening it to 2 Newton meters and then 10 Newton meters, so we're gonna tie it the same way. Never done one, this is the first time I stripped the oil pump like this from a V10. I'm really hoping it will be all right. And yeah, I'm gonna clean it all up and then I'll put it all back together. This is what I get so far. I think it's pretty much clean up. Well, I clean it up as much as our facilities let me to clean it up. It's all right. I will tell you the truth. I did mess up this part, exact. I couldn't remove the lock for the sprocket or for the gear wheel. And this is already for the old oil pump, this whole housing. I didn't damage it like the other one, which is on there, but I wasn't really happy with it, and it didn't look good. So I decided to, just to make sure, I put the housing from the other oil pump, which was originally in the car. I cleaned it all up. I didn't remove this sprocket with the gear wheel with the shaft. I left it there because I just couldn't remove this bugger. Rest of them were all right, these two, to actually slide the whole shaft out. That wasn't a big problem really. I looked the video from the RE Performance, what's on YouTube, that helped me a lot. So the guys have more experience than I have. They advise to use like a very sharp chisel and try to sort of lift it, because the insert is really tight. It have to be tight. And yeah, it wasn't a big struggle, but it was a bit of a pain. Also with the repair kit what they sent me, I thought this is for the water pump, but it's not. It's the shaft seals for the housing, where's the end of the 2 shafts from this side. So I think that's quite important, not to let the oil to the other side. So that was replaced. These are pretty hard, so I don't think they're holding anything anymore. Even if it has a spring inside, they're just rock hard, so they go in a bin. Also, when it comes to the O-rings gaskets, there were like 1, 2, 3 different lengths. So this one was easy. That was the shortest one. This was the second shortest one, the third shortest one, and I think this, the other side, that, and the other side is the same length. So these 4 were definitely the same. I also did check all the surface where the Geese actually sits. I don't see any damage, any scratches. Everything looks nice and clean. Also, all the geese sprockets and everything, they look pretty clean, so I don't see anything wrong with it visually. You never know. Also, very important information, I have assembly lube here ready because I thought I was going to put a bit of oil in there, close it all up, and it should be fine. But again, the guys from RE Performance, from their experience, what they're saying, it needs to be properly lubricated, because otherwise you can just keep cranking the engine and it will never build the pressure. It just won't suck the oil, because the only way how the oil is getting through is through this small gap. And if it's like dry or not enough oil, it will just like create like air, it will just create like air bubbles. So I gotta make sure I put enough lubrication on there. I also did repair the broken bolt. There was another broken bolt somewhere here where the thermostat was coming, so that was removed as well with no issues really. This is the Z broken bolt, so I have a replacement. You can see how hard it was coming out. I also heated up and everything, but obviously it snapped on the end anyways. Cheeky bugger. I actually don't know why they do it for a hexagon like 4, but it's like, it is what it is. So I think we are ready to reassemble the pump. I'm really hoping I will not mess up anything. It should be fine. And the only way how we will find out is fine. We got to build the whole engine, which will take a while, because what I'm missing conrod bearings, but I was told they were dispatched already, so they should be here. The rest of the things are over there, the blue boxes on the top. So everything else is ready. I'm picking up the crankshaft with the rods and pistons tomorrow from London. They were fully balanced, what you see in the last video. And yeah, let's get to it. Yeah. You wouldn't do that.
Because both are moving outside the other bit, so hopefully, let's try to spin it. With some speed to these things. What would it all mean? You.
Okay guys, so this is the final product, what we managed to finish it off. You can tell there's loads of oil and lubricant in the oil pump, and it was quite alright to do the whole thing. It is turning and everything, so that's good. And also I can feel on the mine shaft that there's oil and it's spinning freely. And I'm quite happy with it, how it was putting back together and stuff. And you have to be especially careful about all the bolts, so they are tight, mainly the inside ones, because they can do some damage. And the only problem what I actually had was with this part of the oil pump, because we have those oil shafts there. So the left one is the suction one, the other one is the pressure one. And then when I was turning with the oil pump, it was like not moving freely at one point. So right now everything is turning and spinning freely, which is good. It's how it should be. All the bolts were actually tied to the 10 Newton meters, and I think the oil pump will be fine to feed into the engine. So before we will crank the engine and stuff, we still have to make sure there's oil going into the mine oil supply over there. And before we will start the engine, we have to crank it and make sure the oil is going everywhere. So I'm really hoping the first start will be with no issues and we will have oil pressure as it should be. Meanwhile, while I was in London, pick up the crankshaft with all the stuff. So we have all the rods and pistons here ready to go. The crankshaft was balanced, polished, measured. All the bits are ready in the shelves over there. Tomorrow we have Saturday, and we just have to clean up all the parts and we can start putting the engine back together. The only thing what I'm missing are the conrod bearings, so I'm waiting for them. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video where we'll be finally building the engine. Take care for now and see ya.